Hi folks, today we're going to be doing another art filler video. Today we're going to be doing a big old bird. Let's see how this turns out. Alright, so obviously it being chosen that I was doing Oripathra and Oripathra today, kind of had to lean into the whole bird motif. Now, not great at certain parts of avian anatomy, namely towns, and you'll see that here in a little bit when I just entirely avoid drawing the feet until I absolutely need to. And honestly, I probably should have done a little better spacing looking back retroactively on the legs, but that's neither here nor there. Now, as we get on in the video, you'll realize that there was something very easily kind of jumping out at me as to what I wanted to do. Given we had one little yellow bird, and we had one bigger bird with long legs. But like most of these other art videos, it's kind of just going to be an annotation or a commentary as to how this process was going. So, per usual, we start off with the bright, or rather just brighter teal color kind of base. And then I'm going to go through here and kind of just clean up some of those lines with this black so that I have a more stable liner to work. Something that I have a tendency to do because I see it in a lot of third stage or just final stage evolutions of Pokemon is the large belly, and I think it comes off pretty apparent here with this duder's big old tum-tum kind of just hanging out. Now, in here, I had decided that I wanted to have tail feathers, and I felt like it was kind of missing something without them. Just a little bit more plumage to kind of tie a little bit more into Oripathra's layered kind of rag design. Right here, I'm just cleaning up the undermouth and giving the eye rings Oripathra's design, which at the time when I was going through and drawing them, I felt like they were just going to end up looking like black eyes, but in the final piece it turns out looking a lot better. Now, I did want to keep this under the motif of an electric type. Now, if we're going off of headcanon, I think I would want to have this be electric psychic as opposed to electric flying, because I picture him being too big to be able to properly fly. And then we're just seeing if there's any additional details that I wanted to add. I kind of wanted to see about adding Oripathra's kind of spots that he has on the side of his eyes, but ultimately I decided against it. Then from here, I believe we get into coloring it. It took me a second because I was getting some of my layers figured out to be able to do the final coloring process. So we start in and we take Oripathra's orange, and we'll use that for the beak and the legs. You'll notice this time around I decided to not cheat and outline and then fill with the paint bucket. I decided it would probably be a little bit better to just physically go in and color everything in. Now, this purple comes from Oripathra's ornamentation that they've got all over their body. And on the final product, it pops really nicely, setting up against Oripario's dual-toned yellows. Now for this, I was just adding some color variation. We're doing the tops of the wings in one color, and for the sake of pixel palettes, we're going to be reusing that color for the talons. And then we go through with the bright yellow, that darker bright yellow that Oripathra has. Almost makes him look like one of those bath time rubber ducks. But we're gonna go in here, gonna clean it up, get everything colored with this base coat. Kind of just get the barest flat painting going on. And then after I had gotten done with this center one, I didn't quite like how all of the yellow was sitting side by side like that. So I went in and I just kind of erased it effectively. I just changed it back to the white color. Kind of gives a little bit of a variation, helps not flatten the image too terribly much. And then right here, I'm going through and checking the colors to make sure that I didn't miss anything in anywhere that was going to be major. And then we're checking the individual layers so that I can go in and find my shading layers. And we're going to start off with the darkest areas of the shading. We're going to go through, just like last week with the Lapradant video. What I'm doing is I'm just masking the areas with this black, where I was determining the shading to be at, based off of the light source in my head. And we go through and get everything kind of just blocked off. Now, I had a lot of fun with this one because as I was going through and doing the randomization, the moment I realized what two mons I was going to be doing, my immediate thought was Big Bird. There's just no world where I didn't make this into a Big Bird of some sort. But what we are doing now, other than what was in the Big Bird video, or not Big Bird, wow, sorry folks, what wasn't in the Lapradant video, is I'm now masking the highlight areas, and I will actually be going through and doing this for two different rounds of highlights. The slightly more transition highlights, and then the brighter finalized highlight, just kind of around those rimmed areas of where everything is going. And then after that, we go in, we merge down all of our shaded layers first. Then we just kind of blend those rough edges, make it a little less harsh of a transition between where the shadows and where the highlights are and where the base coloring is. Now, I know it's still not especially pretty. Like I've mentioned before, I'm still learning as I go. I honestly wasn't this consistent with drawings, anything, since I was in high school, so it's been a while. But otherwise, that's gonna do it. that is going to be our fusion for this week. So if there's something that you'd like to see in a future video, don't forget to leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more of my content, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you all for watching. Bye!